Hey dudes, welcome back to another episode of our Rhomas Men's Team podcast. You are about to listen to one of our prior team meetings. If you ever want to join one of our live sessions that we have every Monday and Friday, head over to rhomas.com. That's RHOMAS.com and put your email in and we will send you a live link every time we record. We generally record on Mondays and Fridays. So if you ever want to be on the actual podcast, like we bring men up all the time to talk about their goals, talk about their obstacles, etc., head over to rhomas.com. And then also, if you want to help support the channel grow and also have access to exclusive content, book reviews, extra whiteboard sessions, etc., and some coaching sessions, head over to patreon.com and support us. We would love it. But if not, no biggie. We'll see you on the live sessions. Later, dudes. Enjoy this podcast.
We are live and recording. It's another Monday, dude.
Another Monday, man. Dude, I haven't had a Monday. Literally, I tell people all the time, I haven't had a Monday in the last 9 years since I came out here to California and really like just quadrupled down on what I love doing. And if I could give that gift to the men, it's like try to find that thing. You know, try to find that thing that you love doing so much or you don't have a Monday. Dude, I can tell you, I mean, Matt, I'm sure you've had this experience where Sunday night you're like, oh, God, I got to go back to work. And that is just, I despised that feeling.
Yeah, I think some dude had a term for that. It was called Sunday neuroses, where people would like freak out on Sundays knowing they have to like go back to the place that they hate being. And, you know, people end up doing like really bad stuff that day because it's like being between like the weekend. And then when they finally have time on their hands to do stuff, they don't even know what to do with themselves. Like, I fucking hate this place. I hate work. And they go home. They're like, I'm bored. I don't know what to do here. But yeah. Man, it's good to get out of that cycle of like, oh, I can't wait. I mean, genuinely, I remember being at a job and being like, sweet, it's Friday, this is awesome. But yeah, I do think it's the best. It's best for people to get out of that whole kind of cycle of like highs and lows, if you can, you know, or at least not be such a baby about it. Just go into Mondays fired up as possible, dude. It's like you're either miserable or you can just get as fired up as possible, and it's like, you know, just get pumped on whatever you're doing. And again, if you don't want to do it, just do something else.
Yeah, I think a perspective change of, hey, we live in America. Like, you know, there's only so bad it can really get here, you know, all things considered. But I love what you told me, how Billy, your brother, used to turn it into a fun atmosphere by calling your dad my lord when he was working.
He would just go, Father, yes, Father. So it was like back when Game of Thrones, it was before Game of Thrones like let the country down simultaneously with that horrible ending. But yeah, Game of Thrones was in like full swing. And we were all there on like a demolition site, and my dad would be like, all right, you go over here, Matt, go get the copper. Billy, go grab like the sticks or the wood out of the stone. And he would just go, yes, Father, and just walk away. My dad, dude, he gets so pissed off. He'd be like, come on, knock that off. Stop. All right, just go do it. Don't that yes, Father me. Don't do that. Yes, Father.
That's so awesome. How you been, man?
Good, dude. I will say this right up front. This weekend, literally, from Friday till all day Sunday, never got a chance. I know where this is going. Never got a chance. However, as soon as this ends, because I wanted to do it this morning, but the beer distributor doesn't open until like 10, and I was like, let me go for a run. So I went for a run because I wanted to like heal my exercise body with an ice bath. So as soon as this is over, I'm walking right to the beer distributor, grabbing my bags of ice, filling up the bathtub, and I'm in. So
okay, that's fair. Shout out to the guys who did it this weekend. Who was it? I think
Gunther
did it for sure. I think Jordan did it too. I can't. I try to filter through all of the Discord stuff. But yeah, man. So the question is, how many bags of ice? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to grab 220s, and I think I'll be able to get my water down to like low 40s with one 20-pound bag of ice, but I'll have that other one ready in case it doesn't. But, you know, I honestly, dude, I think if you just run your water as cold as possible, even if you don't have ice, you will feel like some benefits. If my water gets freezing cold, like my water gets take your breath away cold. But you know, that can be like in the 50s. So yeah, if you do that and then toss in some ice, dude, you're good to go. So I'm looking forward to it. Go ahead.
Can I throw out a little challenge?
Sure.
So last night, the specifics have to be spot on. So 60 pounds of ice, full torso up to like collarbone. But my hands and my legs were out. So like the tub is kind of small. So I put my feet up on the wall, if that makes sense, and I laid back down. Rather than just doing legs, I prefer my torso. I feel like torso and full torso is more difficult. So just considering it.
This was Troy's problem was that he said he put either 100 or 60 pounds of ice in his bathtub, and he ended up just lying on ice. He said it was so much in his bathtub that he just sat there on top of ice.
Yeah,
submerged.
So funny enough, that's why I did 60 pounds yesterday, because the bathtub I did it 100 pounds in prior was larger. So obviously you need some space in between the ice so it can fit, and then water underneath. So yeah, Troy's saying 60 pounds would work. 60 pounds I did yesterday, and everything was great. Like, of course, it's extremely cold when you get in. It's a great exercise in meditation, but I will say it pushed me right to the edge of being able to control breath and control mindset. And then I could tell you, when I got out was actually the worst part. When I got out, I had like actually it was weird. It was like probably like a few minutes later, I got uncontrollable shakes, and then I had to force my mind back. It was like, okay, focus on breathing, get back in the space, and then I would take myself back into feeling relatively warm. But it's a great exercise in mind-body control, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I'm telling you, cold water is definitely a awesome thing to use if you want to kind of get into some mind over matter stuff. I mean, just run a cold shower and get in. It's so hard. You're like, I don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
You hit the water and you're like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then the ocean out here in the winter, like Matt, like you and I did, was phenomenal. That was I mean, that I think is one of the best things you can do. It's just like, it's almost like a life-changing experience.
Yeah, I think it is. The ocean, I think, is the ultimate. If you get in, because plus the ocean's like kind of scary as it is, especially when it's like the water's coming in really hard and it's freezing. You're like, dude, I could definitely die.
Oh yeah.
But I swear to God, I stress for people to, like, if they're like, I don't know, that sounds extreme. Just the most important thing is getting in the tub and getting in the cold water, dude. So do whatever version of it you can. But I do agree, Wes, that it's like, it's good to, and I think going in the ocean that one time with you was kind of an eye-opener, because you do limit yourself way more. Because I was like, no, if I had walked in there by myself, I would have went, oh no, this is like body shock, hypothermia territory. I'm out of here. And then after doing it, being like, oh, that was cool. To be like, oh, I totally can't do this, and be like, oh, wait, actually I could. Nice. So.
Yep. Oh yeah. And just disclaimers out here. I feel like we kind of have to do this. Matt and I are not formally recommending this. You have to do this on your own terms and make your own decisions as a man.
True.
Because I did look at this yesterday, the hypothermia table. There's a hypothermia table, and it tells you what temperatures you can sit in. I would Google that if I were you guys. And for instance, it says water temperature in degrees, 32 degrees. 15 to 45 minutes. That's the expected time of survival. So keep that in mind. you probably want to back it off a few minutes. 32 and a half to 40 degrees, 30 to 90 minutes. Exhaustion or unconsciousness is 15 to 30 minutes, if that makes sense. And then 40 to 50 degrees, expected time of survival is 1 to 3 hours, and exhaustion or unconsciousness is 30 to 60 minutes. So again, use your judgment. If you can get the temperature right of or at least understand the temperature of the water, which I did not yesterday. I don't think there was any risk of anything major happening. 60 pounds of ice in a sufficient bathtub where there's water underneath. Kind of by definition, it's going to be above 32 degrees, well above 32 degrees. So yeah.
Yeah. No, like I said, just hop in. There was a thing, I was watching a thing on this as well, where people who feel like they have more of like a, let's say like more health issues and kind of like a, a more limited personal health constitution, you can run a cold shower and just start by sticking like different parts of your body in it. So you can just just run a leg through there, run an arm through there, and you'll start to get the benefits, but you won't, if you're worried about like overwhelming yourself or going into some form of shock, that's something you can do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So cool, man. So what's going on? What did you want to discuss today? I think you had something.
Yeah, dude, I did. Sorry, I saw someone said my audio was low. I think it was Lucas. Yeah, so today I was sitting there every day. Again, I do my morning meditation first thing. It's like every single day, which has been really nice. But then right after that, I kind of do my, I try to map my day out. Or if there's something particularly interesting I came across while meditating, I usually will like kind of flesh that idea out. And here was a situation. Maybe this is kind of like a trivial personal thing, but so I'm sitting there, I'm meditating, and some days I use like a playlist for like meditation music, some days I don't. And a song came on while I'm doing it. I'm like 5 minutes into it. A song comes on that I was like, this song's not a meditation song. Like it just came on. It was like, it's more like an ambient kind of like lo-fi. I don't know if you like lo-fi hip hop kind of thing. It came on and I was just like, this isn't a meditation song. And in my head, I was like, oh man. And so then now the thought process is like, the thought process, I start going like, well, just, like your adverse reaction to this song is just something you can sit and deal with. So I sit there and I'm sitting with it, and like again, the thoughts that are coming to my head being like, I'm not doing this right. This song's ruining everything. And then I'm like, dude, just switch the song. And I'm like, well, I can't be touching my phone because I'm supposed to be meditating. It's this whole stupid dialogue based on really nothing. Then I just go, what the hell? I switch the song, go back into another one, and that's when I started to think about it, like how there is a, let's say, neural pathway to your kind of like childish thinking mode that can it almost gets kind of activated without you even thinking about it constantly. If that makes sense. Of like,
Without a doubt.
Really, I just had to pick up my phone, like, oh, I don't like this song, and switch it. But the way it was being filtered in my head was like, I'm not doing this right. Oh, I hate this song. Why would someone put this on a meditation playlist? It doesn't belong on here, and blah, 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 blah. And kind of just like, again, like a like extended commercial for meditation. But like, I really think that helps kind of buffer that. If you imagine again, I don't know how brains work really, but it's like the thoughts going down like a wire that's in your brain, and there's like, here's your prefrontal cortex, and it's like, blah, blah, here's a song. And how easy it is for that thought to just penetrate down to like your more childish side, which is like, get this song out of here. I'm not doing this right. I can't do anything right. And it's like, that was pretty cool to like watch a thought devolve into something that bothered me and to kind of just play around with that process of having it not really bother you and, just like altering perspective on things in real time and then seeing like what else I can apply that to. So it's pretty cool. I went pretty deep into it where I was like, if you were a kid at some point, there was a brain for you as that kid, and I think that brain just gets expanded out upon. So like your little kid brain's still in there, but we have this other, like, we've fleshed out on it and it's grown in size, but there's probably structural parts to like what's called like your kid brain or your inner child. And so I was just like thinking about that, like, damn, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I would add to that. I think you're spot on, at least from what I have read. It's not only your kid brain; it's the reptilian brain going back millions of years, arguably, depending on how deep you want to get into this, arguably billions of years. So yeah, you're fighting against that hard wiring. Our prefrontal cortex is about this old relative to the age of our limbic system, amygdala, and so on. And what I've heard Jordan Peterson describe it as, I think, was spot on. Basically, human beings, well, any living entity, number one goal is to survive and reproduce. Well, in that survival, that implies forward progress. So anytime you have any sort of obstacle to what you perceive to be forward progress, like your brain freaks out. Like my brain freaks out every single time. It doesn't even matter if I'm going to get like, a piece of chicken or a piece of, broccoli in the kitchen, and like something gets in my way slightly. I'm like, son of a bitch. Like that's the immediate thought in my head. If I get a phone call, if I'm about to eat a bite of food, if I get any interruption to me, it sends me like level 10 fury. I don't know why. Every single interruption. It's like, what the fuck? I can't get this done. Every single text message and so on. But yeah, that's an opportunity to say, okay, well, that's just my reptilian brain. How can I get around this? And I think the cool thing is, I think meditation really, really helps with that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it almost to the point was like, so you have, you're just like a person or a thing paying attention. There's all these random experiences going on around you, and they just kind of filter through you and flow through you depending on how you think. And that was the thing I really kind of was thinking about, was like, at the end of the day, you have all the things happening. You have, your brain's going to process them, kind of how it processes them. But again, with meditation, you're working on that little tiny bubble that's like almost your filter for how you kind of decide to interpret the things that are happening to you, both inside and outside of you, and how you can kind of expand that. And like we said before, just slow that time down to where like a thing happens, and rather than like, again, I can very well see myself being like, fuck, it's fucking not working, then like storming, like it maybe like a year or so ago, being like, fuck, and like that could lead to being like, meditation sucks. Fuck this, it doesn't fucking work. And it's like, well, no, you just got confronted. Dude, boredom is the biggest thing, man. I've really challenged myself at nighttime to like I like to listen to audiobooks. Sometimes I just turn them all off and I just force myself when I'm not that tired to just lay in bed and just do absolutely nothing. And my brain gets so bored, and rather than being like, I just sit there and I just start to examine like, what is boredom? Where is it coming from? Why do I feel this way? Can I just ignore it? And it's like, boredom is such a weird thing to deal with, where there's like that feeling of like my brain wants stimulation and not giving it to your brain. And it's like, dude, it's weird, man. I would challenge also people to try that. Like, just go to bed an hour early and just lay in the dark, dude. Even if you're still awake, just lay in the dark and just lay there.
Oh, without doubt.
Your brain screams for distraction. It's like, come on, dude, please let me see that phone. And, it's just, I don't have any real insights on it other than it's kind of interesting. And it's, again, you can confront those thoughts that would usually dictate your behavior and like, fuck this, I'm getting up. It's like, just try to sit there for an hour. And you'd be surprised that like quiet kind of feeds a part of yourself that'll just start giving you thoughts that you otherwise wouldn't interact with because you just don't have the chance. So
yeah. And that book, did you read the book Deep Work by Cal Newport?
I read parts of it.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's sitting here listening to this and asking themselves, well, why would I meditate? Why would I even want those benefits, or what would the benefit be of me sitting in a dark room? I would actually argue, if you read that book, if anybody listening to this reads that book, that's the answer, is because there are so many rewards left for those who can sit and execute for sustained periods of time. And oftentimes what gets in their way of our way of doing that is some sort of immediate gratification thing, usually by nature of our phone or something like that. So if you can train your brain to sit and obey, right, your mind, I know it sounds kind of weird, but like if you can teach yourself to sit and obey yourself for extended periods of time, I think there's tremendous reward in that. Tremendous reward.
Yeah, man. It's a skill a lot of people don't really work at. And like you were saying, it's 100% a big skill that, like, dude, I would struggle with constantly. Of like every time my brain's like, I'm bored. It's like, you can not listen. Like, that's just a thing that passes through. You can just let go.
Oh, yeah.
You
I mean, dude,
point,
like.
Go ahead, man.
Oh, sorry. Please, go ahead.
No, and you might hit a point like after like an hour or so, if I'm genuinely not tired, then it's like, all right, dude, like I'm not going to lash myself for all of eternity, but it's like, it's nice to kind of push back on that a little bit, so.
Yeah, I mean, how do you write a book without being able to sit down for sustained periods of time and fight the immediate gratification demons? You can't unless you train your brain to sit there and do it. That's why we talk about the 2-hour time blocks, et cetera, or meditation, or sitting in a dark room for an extended period of time. You have to train your brain to be able to sit down and obey yourself long enough to execute a task that's actually worth executing.
Yeah, man. No, I'm telling you, and as someone who's tried to write a book for like 10 years before I could actually do it, it's literally the key of being like, I want to get up now and be like, well, you got to get to 2,000 words. And it's like, fine. And it's like, and you're fighting like, what am I doing with my life? Is this a waste of time? Does this suck? Blah, 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 blah. And you can just literally, that stuff's there, and you can just be like, all right, I'll deal with this stuff. And that's one of the biggest things you have to do is learn how to deal with yourself.
Yeah, one of the things I looked at in terms of work productivity was, if you think about a project, most people, and including myself, like at times, if I'm not disciplined about this, if I look at my time to completion of a project and the amount of days, if it gets longer and longer, typically when that happens, I just try to stab at the project. So if I look at the graph of when I've completed the work on that, it'd just be a bunch of like little tiny short dots on a piece of paper, and it takes 6 months. Versus literally, if I can sit down and do my 2-hour time blocks, it's just, you see these long bars of progress, and it takes 3 weeks. So 6 months versus 3 weeks. And that's because it's that data where it shows every time you get distracted or you get up from your desk or you work away, it takes, they say on average, about 27 minutes to get back to what you're doing, to refocusing. And that's even if you do the smallest task ever. So if you get up, you go to the bathroom, automatically just count 27 minutes off of the clock. So you do that a couple times, all of a sudden that's an hour off the clock of what you otherwise could have been productive. Now, if you read different data, some will suggest 20 minutes, some will suggest 40 minutes, but what I've heard on average is about 27 minutes. So every single time you're about to stop a project or about to answer that phone call or about to answer the text message, just think about 27 minutes of productivity gone. And don't get caught up in the minutia if you say, well, actually, I think it's 15 or I think it doesn't matter. It's completely asymmetrical and disproportionate downside relative to the upside of actually like answering that text message, etc.
Damn. I mean, dude, even if it was 5 minutes, that's kind of astounding.
Exactly.
You look at your phone, it's 5. It's like, well, that sucks. But yeah, and dude, there's also, again, not to, well, I think this is a good thing to harp. I think it's a very important thing to harp on, really. But the, there's a book. I forget the name. I genuinely forget the name of it. I'll have to find it. But the thing it talks about, and I think I might have explained this a little bit before, but when you're looking at your phone, computers, and all that stuff, it's working your problem-solving part of your brain. So like you're just like when you're on your phone, you're solving little problems like which box should I click, what should I do now, blah blah blah. Here's the play button, and apparently when you're in that like problem-solving part of the brain, like short-term attention thing, you're over time eroding your ability to store information in your long-term memory. Because you're not really using that part. You're just overwhelming yourself with tons of like yes, no, yes, no, yes, no decisions, when in reality there's another way of thinking, which, is more aligned with meditation, reading, and like what you're talking about, Wes, like deep focus and concentration. And that's a different part of your brain than that which you would use navigating a computer screen or your cell phone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, without a doubt. And the
trying to read on your... Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Well, they say like how they would even do like reading a text first on your computer screen. And when you read on your computer screen, like just the fact that there's like a, like the hyperlink above it and then like a picture over here and like the, a little like here's the comment section. And it's like they would track people's eyes and, people's eyes are flittering all over the place to the point where they would show that people, that's like it's way, way harder to read and pay attention. But sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, no, I think, how do I say this? What documentary did you tell me to watch? Was it like Social Dilemma, something like that? Was that the
probably, yeah,
documentary? Yeah, I mean, basically, we start to expend all of our energy on these little micro tasks that don't really yield any rewards, except for every single day we get some dopamine hits. But we're spending that dopamine on something that's looking at, our friend of a friend and his pictures in Hawaii or something, whatever we're clicking through on social media. There's no reward in that. There's zero, as far as I'm concerned, zero reward. Versus if you spend that same cumulative time actually making progress on a project that's important to you, man, it is so infinitely more rewarding than what most people do on their phones. It's unreal. And the cool thing is, I don't know if you ever tried this, Matt, but I've now tried to attack projects without asking other humans, because it's so easy for me, let's say, to call you and say, hey, how do you do Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Premiere Pro, whatever. But I've noticed that I can get probably better information. No offense to you, right? Like I can go out there and seek out professionals in this arena. The internet allows me to do that. And yes, it's still kind of frustrating, but man, it's empowering as hell. Like it's like super. I've noticed like everybody's able to get up to like a really high proficiency level with YouTube videos, with looking on websites, blogs, etc. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. And it strengthens that muscle of research. Hey, I want to accomplish this goal. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to use Adobe Photoshop. Oh, I'll go on Udemy. I'll go and buy a course for $12, and it has 5,000 4.5-star reviews. I'll buy it for $12. I'll sit down here for the next 4 hours, and I will watch it. And boom, all of a sudden, within a half a day, working day's time frame, I'm now at an amateur level proficiency with Adobe Photoshop or Adobe, whatever the software is. Mm-hmm. It's insane. It's insane, man.
Yeah, and that's the key is like, it works perfectly, but can you sit there for 4 hours and work on it? Mm-hmm. It's like, and can you deal with, because it's going to be super frustrating. You're absolutely, when you have a tutorial, in my experience, you're going to, watch what they're doing, open up your thing, and it doesn't match. You're like, what the fuck? Mine's different. But again, it's like, can you just kind of work over those little bumps? And also, Gunther asked a question, which I think is a good one. He said, any upside to taking a break to refocus, or when you're stuck, step away, or this only compound this time efficiency problem? What do you think?
100%. I mean, and that's where it's like, it's no different. You're training like an athlete. Like, would I recommend going out there and trying to run a marathon today? No, if you've never run before. But I would say take the bite that you can and then increase it by like 10%. So let's say if you can run around the block, I would say try running around the block plus 5 to 10%. And all of a sudden, it's the same thing with your time block. If you're a type of person who cannot sit there and work for long periods of time, try 15 minutes. Like no excuses. Put your phone preferably in the other room or on airplane mode. Say, I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes. I am not getting up. I'm either going to be bored or I'm going to make progress on this thing. No other options. And then tomorrow it could be 17 minutes. The next day it could be 20 minutes. But yeah, of course, I think there without a doubt is benefit to taking a break. And you will have to use your judgment on whether or not that break is warranted. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I also think, I think you're 100% right about that. The thing that helps too for me is really thinking about the things you do as a break. So like when I would do like audio recording, I get real flustered and I'm like, especially if I'm like recording myself talking or doing stuff, you get really in your head and you're like, I need to get out of here. Like when you're making your break something like exercise or something that's kind of good on another level. And then like I'll go out, I'll just like go for a run and then I come back and like just the fact that I ran calm some weird part of me that I can just sit down and focus and like I don't get as distracted as much. Mm-hmm. So I would say if you're thinking about taking a break, try to take that opportunity to then do another thing that might be useful rather than like, going upstairs and like eating ice cream or like I need to watch 4 hours of TV, now that I've blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, and I think naturally if you kind of start from like the scorecard. And you do research on, okay, there's natural biological things that need to happen, right? You need to go to the bathroom. You need to sleep. You need to have good social relationships. Like you need to work out your physical body. Well, in my opinion, you should be doing those things every single day. So that already gives you a landscape of your breaks. Do you know? So you can't work for 16 hours. Why? Because then you won't get your workouts in, right? You can't work for 20 hours because then you won't get your sleep. So nature has already provided the breaks for you, if that makes sense. And I would highly recommend you pack your day with all of those things that nature wants you to do, because that is the most sustainable thing you can do in perpetuity.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. That does make sense. To kind of let those things be the things that, if you need a break, go eat something good for yourself, go run, or make sure you end at a certain time that you now get to go to sleep and go, I think that's key.
Yeah. I think looking at everything holistically, like Matt, you and I constantly preach that nature will, and that holistic performance will naturally give you a landscape of transitioning from task to task, etc. But it also gives you a little bit of urgency. Okay, get your work done right now in 8 hours, because then you have to go work out afterwards, and you have to spend time with your friends and family after that, and you have to sleep after that, and you have to have a healthy meal, like all of those things. If you approach it in that way, so everything is nested within that holistic performance type of mindset, there's enough variety in the day to keep you satisfied and healthy and successful in the long term.
Oh yeah, love that. Dude,
cool, man.
So we're coming up on 11:50. So should we slam someone in the seat and then do a little week check-in, or should we do a little just like we'll pull someone up? Who wants to come up? We'll get the first name, obviously. We'll just. Oh, Troy throwing somebody else into the seat.
Oh, nice.
A lot of people.
Fran says he's down.
Francesco's down. 2 people calling for Gunther. He's at work.
Uh-oh.
Francisco. Let's get the man. We haven't talked to Francisco in a while.
I know, man.
What up, dude?
What's up, Fran? What is up, brother?
How you doing?
Dude, we got like 10-ish minutes, but we just want to check in, see what's up, and maybe even do like a Friday thing, man. See how the week goes, and see what. I think that'd be a kind of a cool way to do the hot seat as well.
Oh, look at him flexing on the green drink, man. That was nice. That was a nice cameo appearance of that green drink, dude.
So what's going on, guys?
Chillin', man. How you been?
Pretty good, not bad. Can't complain. I've been trying to crush it on the weight loss thing.
You have been crushing it. Can you talk to us about that?
Sure.
Your output has been phenomenal. First of all, tell us about your results, and then tell us how you're getting those results.
All right. So I lost after the first month. I lost, I think, almost about 10 pounds.
Hell yeah.
And then it's crazy. I was talking to Jordan about it in the group. It's like I went to get my second shot on like a Thursday for the vaccine or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was just feeling like dog shit the next day. And like in 3 days, I gained 6 pounds because I wasn't like doing anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, shit, man. Like it all just comes back so fast. Like 3 days.
Yeah, man.
And it's just so frustrating because like you work so hard in the month of February. to, you know, get the results that you want. And then like in just 3 days, a snap of fingers, just like you're back where you started, you know?
Yeah. Sure. The one thing that helps, though, sorry, Wes, I just real quick, this is
please.
something I think about as well, is like whenever I do slip on that thing and a couple of pounds come back, I always go, damn, if I wasn't doing it though, I'd be plus probably 20. So
Yeah, no, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, it comes back quick, bro.
What's up, dude?
What up, dude?
And, yeah, but I'm telling you, it feels good. Like I had like my little routine going where like I had the green drink in the morning, and then do my running when my son goes down for a nap, and then like make my food to go when I go to work. And, you know, it was all good, healthy stuff, and it just felt good like for that month of February. And then like I hit that little hiccup. It was 3 days. And I'm like shit. And then that fourth day, I had to like really like yell at myself to like get back on track. So
Sure.
it's been like that ever since. So it's all good.
Nice. I also feel like that's a big part of it, though, man. There's the daily execution of things, and then there's the larger pattern of like the in and falling in and out of it, and you know, getting yourself back. I'm really I have a hard time keeping myself on a thing for extended periods of time. So really, it's just accepting that and just constantly trying to get back on the horse, and it gets easier and easier to do, and then you fall off the horse less and less as time goes on.
And then like also another thing is like there'll be some days where like let's say like it's been like a week and a half and I've only lost like 2 pounds. But like I feel like more, you know, like I feel like just so much better, energy wise, and like just like clothes start fitting better. But like that number like doesn't really go down that much. But like inside, like you kind of feel you're a lot healthier, I guess, a lot better. You feel a lot better about yourself.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And a couple things. So one of the things that we do here, Fran, is obviously, you know, and you're doing, is we weigh ourselves every single day. The downside of that is it can give you a skewed understanding of progress because weight is going to fluctuate based off of sodium level, water retention, all of these types of things, even training intensity and how much your body retains in water because of that intensity. So we understand that totally, that like, you know, for no reason that you would be able to articulate, your weight could be up a few pounds. So I would say that quote 6 pounds that you gained, I would argue was not in fat, most likely in water. You probably ate some stuff that had more sodium, etc. Now, the anecdote to that is only weighing yourself once a week. So I know a lot of people say, oh, well, why do you guys weigh yourself so much? So I totally understand the pros and cons of both. However, if you only weigh yourself once a week, what I have found in actual practice is when men do that, including myself, it gives you you are less in touch with the reality. Because of that, I'd rather have the skewed data daily because it forces you to react on a quicker feedback loop, just like you're doing, right? 3 days later, like, oh shit, I got to get back on track. Versus if you delayed that for a full week out, all of a sudden you're now 3-4 days from when you otherwise would have changed the behavior. And I've noticed, given a long enough time, the daily weigh-in every single time from the guys that I've worked with and Matt's worked with, every single time works better than the once a week weigh-in. Because then if you forget the once a week weigh-in, now all of a sudden you're 14 days from the prior weigh-in, if that makes sense. Now you're half a month off. So I'd rather have the daily skewness than the half a month, and it's like, oh, well, I'm a half a month, then screw it. You know, I'll just do something else. You know,
I also feel like it keeps you in check a little bit. Like
100%.
Today, I gotta work out today.
Yep, 100%.
Tomorrow I gotta work out tomorrow.
Yep. When I pig, I immediately know it the next, and I always do. I'm like, maybe it just passed through me and it won't reflect on this. And I hop on and I go, God damn it, there it is, and there's my decision in numbers right there. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it keeps you super honest, and it's also like Gunther was saying, like, you know, he had a nice thing. He cut back on the booze, got himself together, went out on, had a little off season, went out on a date, and is able to gain some sort of like mastery over himself, rather than, like, I think everyone can speak for, just be in this kind of daze of like constantly drinking, constantly this kind of, you know, just being able to kind of gauge that and, you know, have a better time with that.
Yep. Yeah. And I think, Fran, you're focusing on the exact right thing. If you're eating, you know, ton of vegetables, giving yourself the right nutrients and so on, and you're working out, you are making yourself into a different human, so that a month from now, all of a sudden, your physical body is much, much stronger. So you're bringing that A game into that same environment. All of a sudden, you'll be able to lose 10, 15 pounds the next week, 20 pounds the next week. So it's just an iterative process. You're doing exactly how you should be, man. It's cool to watch the progress, bro.
I'm just laughing because every time I step on the scale, my scale's a little bit up. I'm like, I must have gained muscle, dude. I must have gained muscle. I must have gained muscle.
Yep. There you go, man.
But dude, when you were saying that, it's funny because I have the same thing. I'll be like, what the hell? I'm doing everything right and it's not going down. But I'm like, I feel awesome. And, again, I focus on that. The scale's there to kind of keep me in check from like overindulging. And then it's so funny. Then you wake up one morning and you're just down like 4 pounds. You're like, there it is. I knew it. And I think like Wes was saying, a lot of that is water stuff. But it's just there to like keep you on track. Because again, just like we were saying before, the brain goes right to kind of like inner child thoughts, and you're weighing in yourself once a week. Oh, you missed 1 week. You kind of pig out. Oh, it was the holidays. Now you're up 10 pounds. And you're going, this doesn't work. This is bullshit. And, it's like, that happens, I think, for everybody. So the daily thing is the big one, I think.
Oh, yeah. And Fran, just so you know, you're more welcome to join me on this. I committed to the group to lose 15 pounds in 4 weeks. I made that commitment last week, I believe, so I've got 3 more weeks to do it. And if you look at my data, every Sunday night, pretty much or Monday morning, my scale spikes up. But what I mentally try to do is like, okay, by Thursday morning, I try to have that be down prior to the Thursday prior. So that's kind of mentally what I focus on, even though I'm still doing the daily weigh-ins. But you're more than welcome to join me on that. The way I'm going to be accomplishing that, just in case anybody wants to know. So intermittent fasting, only eating 1 meal a day, maximum 2, depending on my discipline level. 1 meal a day, holding it until the end of the night, about 6 p.m.-ish, loading myself up first with veggies. Then if I want to snack, then I can snack after that. Not the other way around. If I do it the other way around, disaster happens. So again, intermittent fasting up until 6 p.m., flood my face with vegetables, as much vegetables as possible. Then if I want, I can snack. And I'm going to keep it very simple like that.
That's like your only meal of the day, 6 p.m.?
Yeah.
And you just ride out the whole day like that, like fasting?
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep. No, dude, the funny thing is, man, you can definitely do it. The first couple days will be a little not pleasant because your body's expecting it. No different than if I took your phone away from you or I took my phone away from me, it'd be not pleasant mentally for the first half a day or 2 days. But then if you do it for a few days straight, you kind of look back and like, well, why was I not doing this before? But my feeling of intermittent fasting is kind of the same way. So I'm just letting you guys know that if anybody wants to join me, but that is how I will be accomplishing, or at least attempting to accomplish, that 15-pound weight loss in 4 weeks.
The day? Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, yeah.
Do you drink liquids throughout the day?
Yeah, I generally drink green tea throughout the day. Yeah.
I feel like also too, you can kind of step yourself into it where you're like, all right, well, I've gotten to the point where I really like working out on like an empty stomach. But it's like some days I'm like, I didn't really eat that much last night. Even stepping it in where you slowly are like, oh, I'll have like one piece of fruit in the morning and then I won't eat till 6 p.m. And like, dude, I'll eat like half an orange and like I just went and ran a couple miles. I haven't eaten all day. And it's like like Wes was saying, you get used to like, it's not, when you first do it, it's this immediate thing like, oh my God, this is crazy. And your body really gets used to it to the point now where like, I really have to work out before I eat. Because after I eat, I notice I just get like lazy. So like if I can stay in that state, have like, a little piece of fruit or something, and then go work out, do my thing, like I have enough energy to work and do stuff. If you have a super physical job, obviously you probably need a little more fuel, I think, to do that. But yeah, you can definitely, you'd be surprised how long you can go without eating. And it also, and like you almost function better. It's weird.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the digestive system is extremely calorie intensive. You're burning a lot of energy when you're eating. So all of those resources are now focused on digestion versus like if you can get past the first couple of days, then all of your mental resources and your physical resources are focused on the task at hand, if that makes sense. And try it. And friend, if it helps you feel any better, or anybody listening to this helps you feel any better, I think that the world record for fasting, I think, is more than a year. The guy was taking vitamins, but he was a very large guy. But yeah, he survived off of his calories stored up via his fat cells for more than a year. So we can survive on less than a day,
Right.
until our next meal. So I mean, just give it a try. But it produces outstanding results, at least from my experience. Outstanding results when it comes to fat loss.
I'm making you ashamed.
Ray says, "Wes, are you that guy?"
He wants to
So Fran,
Yep.
Fran, what's your goal? What are you trying to do this week? If you were to set like a thing you would like to do with the 7 days that is the week, what do you have on? What do you have flying around? This is the hot seat issue.
workout life,
Yeah.
or life in general.
Anything.
For me mainly it's just I was going this past couple of months. I've been going through like a work around my house, so I'm trying to like get the house put back together because like they finally finished all the work and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like gutted like my whole kitchen, and like my house is a freaking like zoo right now. So I gotta shape all that together. This my aunt has been living with me since November, so she's been helping watching my son while I try to do whatever, and it saves me a lot of money. But she just left. She went back home last week. So today is actually the first official day where I have my son all day. I'm trying to put the house together. It's like back to like normal schedule. So I have to do that and then work in my workouts. I want to have like a successful week. Like I don't want this first day to jam up like my whole workout thing. Like right now we're having a good day. Usually he's a little nuts, but we're having a good day. I'm going to make him a shake, work out, put him to sleep for his nap, work out, try to get the house in somewhat order. And I want to keep that going for like 7 days, see how that works out. Because this has been like my first true test since November because my aunt has been living with me since November. It was like a huge help.
Such a sweet deal.
Yeah, man. I turned my basement into like her little apartment. And,
nice.
Yeah, so but she left, so she got tired of it because he's crazy, man. He's a handful. She's like, yeah, I know, I promised you I was gonna stay for like a year, but I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, how about this? How about for the week? I mean, do you feel as if this immediate transition, coupled with all the stuff to do, coupled obviously with all the stress and responsibility of being a parent, perhaps the goal could be not to let it overwhelm you and just kind of make some sort of small amount of significant progress?
Yeah, like I don't plan on like killing myself because
sure,
it's so much work, man. It's like
no,
hold on one second, bud. And then like today and tomorrow my girls are in school, but then like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday I have to we do remote learning where we teach them at home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be even a bigger challenge because I'm going to have all three of them.
Yeah.
And, so I don't plan on killing myself because I'll just go crazy and I'll just like crash and burn.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's got to be like small steps. And I know that. And mentally, like I have that in my head because like that's a big thing. Like it's all about your mental status and me knowing that's going to be somewhat of a challenge. I can kind of like ease into it.
Yep.
And not try to kill myself. So.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like taking your foot off the mental gas pedal. So you don't, I'll do the same thing. I had not as busy, but I had a situation where my wife went back to work, so I had to like reconfigure my whole schedule, and that was my main focus, was just not freaking out. And dude, I swear to God, I think you'll be able to, if you just do that, and then also be like, I'm gonna get this done. I'm just gonna pick up the stuff in my kitchen. If I do that, I'll be happy. But hell yeah.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if Franny can throw a challenge out to you to meditate for 5 minutes a day, just a challenge for the next 5 days. Sneak off to the bathroom, set the timer for 5 minutes, play some some nice music or whatever it is. 5 minutes, just mental break for you.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Good luck, brother. You'll get it done.
Yeah, man. Dude, we'll check in with you Friday.
Good seeing you, brother.
Later, man.
Bye.
See you, bud.
Later, buddy.
See you, Noah. See you, man.
Bye. Bye.
Oh man. Yeah, dude.
What's the shots for the week?
I just want to, dude. Imagine that, the balls that Fran's juggling, dude.
I can't.
That's a mindful of stuff. That's a mindful of stuff, and that's the majority. That's what you have to be able to deal with, dude. Of all the balls he's juggling, and it's like, dude, man, that's a lot. So I'll be sending good vibes to Fran all week, man. I really.
Oh yeah, man.
Because I know myself. I'd spin out. Like that immediate change. Like every time, Brittany's like, "Oh, my mom or my aunt's coming," I'm like, I'm licking my chops because it's just so much help. You're like, yes. So like, yeah, dude, I'm pulling for him. So
yeah,
this week,
Fran's a beast, man. He's an absolute beast. We got to preemptively maybe consider him for dude of the week if he can pull this off this week.
Dude, exactly. If you can not freak out, that's like, if you can not freak out and throw your kids into like a pile of contractor bags, dude, you immediately win. Shut up. Yeah, dude. So this week, this is funny. I've gotten a lot. I got so much done last week that this week all I have to do is button up my stuff for Psych and all. I'm gonna figure out, like I said, how to do them a little quicker and more efficiently, and not be so like crazed on the details and turning them into like all day projects. I just want to get the information out there. So that this week I'm setting a thing where I want to be done 2 of those, have them just finished, completed, and again, like stop trying to perfect them and just toss them out there and get the information out. So that's the main focus this week, and then I will also be dabbling back into a writing project since I now have the time. So
Hell yeah, man. Awesome.
yeah, man.
Cool.
What about you?
Good stuff. So for me, getting back to Rhomas U, and getting up a lot of stuff online, just want to quadruple down on that. And then plus, we've got a lot of project going on in the investment company. So I'm going to be launching another round of marketing, another round of teaching seminars, et cetera, that I need to get up and running. So want to have everything buttoned up and ready to go so that we can launch them here within the next few weeks. So it's just going to be a lot of time blocking, focused effort. And then also want to work out. I'm going to try 7 workouts between today and up until Friday when we talk. Well, yeah, Friday when we talk.
I think I'm going to take you up on that as well. I'm going to try to do that. I've been on a nice little workout streak, so I'm going to try to keep it going. So 7 of them between now, half-hour sessions basically constitute the workout. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that works. Cool.
Nice.
All right, brother. Let's get it, man.
Later
Good luck
on.
to everybody. We'll see you guys on Friday.
Immediately going and getting my bag of ice right now, and I will take a picture to prove it. So that's
Yes,
going
please.
down right now. So don't worry.
Good
about
luck,
that.
dude.
All right, man. Thanks, guys.
Later, buddy.